Elsewhere, Germany's big three auto companies have issued profit warnings amid tariff tensions between the European Union and China. The dispute comes as industry leaders in Germany acknowledge that their long successful business model is facing unprecedented pressure from a number of Chinese electric vehicle makers intent on gaining market share in the European market. Trent has a story.
For Germany's auto sector, the warning lights are flashing. The country's most prominent industrial export, long recognised for heavyweights like Mercedes-Benz, BMW and Volkswagen, are, by their own admission, in some trouble.
Is this something new in the auto industry? No, it's not. Continuous improvement has been in the DNA of the auto industry probably since its inception, but we need to now realize that we're out of the pandemic, we're out of this constraint story. Let's get our mojo back.
Amid the world's shift from petrol combustion engines to EVs, German firms find themselves stuck between two major pressure points. First, adjusting assembly lines from fossil fuel-powered vehicles to newer, greener technology. And secondly, facing new competition from Asia, particularly from China, as a number of new brands make inroads into Europe with new technology-laden vehicles offered at highly competitive prices.
And in the long run, we expect half of our sales globally to come from outside of China. So to achieve this goal, Europe is definitely our core focus. We have a long-term commitment here, and we have more dedicated resources in Europe than any other region.
Germany may be renowned for its manufacturing prowess, but making a battery-powered vehicle is vastly different from making an internal combustion engine, requiring new software and supply chains, which Germany is finding hard to adapt to. High energy costs for production, high labour costs when compared to China and India, and stringent EU regulations, all combining to slow down any attempt to catch up.
We want to rescue our economy.
Thorsten Ausleben leads one of Germany's most prominent free market think tanks. He says a major shift is needed if German firms hope to combat structural competitiveness issues.
Germany is at a crossroads to decide in which direction we go. Either we continue being in the situation as we are, we don't change anything, then we will slowly go away into European Industry Museum. Or we do a change of our frameworks and we'll go away of success, of being competitive again. Of course we have to do reforms in the companies, but more in the politics. But when we do that, it will be hard, but when we do that, in the next 2 or 3 years, we can be successful as we have been before.
To try and shield its auto sector from what it says is unfair state-backed subsidies, the EU recently announced additional tariffs of up to 36.3% on Chinese-made EVs, despite German opposition to the plans. German companies still maintain about 15% of car sales in China, down from a pre-pandemic high of 25%. Their boardrooms telling politicians in Berlin they worry where tariffs could lead to in terms of Beijing's response. Germany was one of just 5 countries in the European Union to vote against a new round of tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. For lawmakers in that building behind me there, they have heard the concerns of the German auto industry that any sort of trade war between the EU and China could cause serious damage to Germany's export-driven economy. But the question is how to respond to the new competition from Chinese EVs. For the government, they say it's up to German automakers to compete on technology and innovation. But Germany's auto sector is likely to face pressure on further fronts moving forward, amid warnings from US President-elect Donald Trump that a minimum 10% tariff could be applied to Europe's exports to America. German car brands in particular attracting his ire over trade deficits.
I said to Angela Merkel when she was there, she's not there anymore, I wonder why, but when she was there, I said, Angela, how many Chevrolets do we have in Berlin? Why, Donald, you have none. He said, that's right. How many Fords do we have in Frankfurt? I don't know, none. I said, that's right. You know how many cars we have? Mercedes-Benz and BMW and all of the different Volkswagen, millions and millions of cars.
Amid profit warnings, job cuts and even plant closures, warning lights are flashing within Germany's industry and government alike. Right now, the question that's being asked, is this a mere bump in the road for the country's most important export, or a complete breakdown in the ability to compete? Trent Murray, CNA, Berlin.